What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita and welcome to the Courtside Club. I fear that this video is just going to turn into another rant. However, we have to talk about Caitlin Clark. She's just returned from her Olympic break, and I feel like the rest that she got over those last few weeks was exactly what she needed because she is looking better than ever, and so are the Indiana Fever. Kevin Garnett put out this tweet a couple days ago. He said, "What if Caitlin Clark's Olympic break was the off-season adjustment for the league that WNBA rookies don't get before their first season? She looked crazy out there yesterday. You can tell she was in the film room." Ironically, Caitlin Clark's first game back after this break was against the Phoenix Mercury and against this little rivalry that fans have created between her and Diana Taurasi. Caitlin Clark put up 29 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds in this game. She came back with a vengeance. They completely swept the Mercury in the 4 games that they have played them this season. She looked outstanding. The Fever looks outstanding. They are currently ranked 7th in the WNBA standings, but I feel like by the end of the season, they are going to be working their way up. Just last night, they played the Seattle Storm and they blew them out. The final score was 92-75. And with this win at home, there was a few controversial moments from the game that I would love to talk about. So the first one here is when Caitlin Clark got a technical for slapping the padding that is on the hoop. And she did this not because of a play that happened with someone from the other team. She did this after she had missed a 3-pointer and was obviously frustrated with her shooting. She got a technical for this. A lot of people were calling this soft. They didn't understand. Obviously, Caitlin is a fiery player. The first comment here says, "I've never seen a male player get a tech for that." Someone else said she can't control herself. Her real personality shows on the court. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if this was a guy, we'd be like, oh my gosh, he's such a competitor. He has such a competitive nature. Now here, it's like bad personality. But after the game, things got heated between these two teams. There's a clip here that honestly really bothered me because I thought that we were turning the corner when it came to the jealousy and cheap shots in the WNBA, especially when it's not a basketball play. But as you can see here, Caitlin Clark is walking off the court, and Skylar Diggins, you can see her speed up and kind of dip her shoulder just so she can hit Caitlin Clark. Mind you, they are down 15, 16 points with 10 seconds left in the game right here. Caitlin is hyping up her home crowd, and I feel like this was so just unnecessary, and especially from a star like Skylar Diggins, who honestly I've been a fan of for many years. I just thought that this was super petty, unnecessary, and also, like I've said in videos past, I made an entire rant video about how the jealousy and hate towards Caitlin Clark was so unwarranted. If you guys haven't seen that, I made that earlier on in the season, but this is just another instance that just gives the media, gives social media ammo to talk poorly about the WNBA. And literally the caption of this tweet here says, "Skylar Diggins speed walking to try her hardest to bump into Caitlin Clark is the definition of nobody hates women more than other women." And it's honestly so true. I think this bothers me because us women have such a bad reputation of not supporting other women, being petty, acting jealous, not wanting other women to succeed, tearing them down when we can. And this was just not a basketball play. I appreciate the fact that Caitlin Clark didn't retaliate. She just kind of walked off the court. So then after this, at the end of the game, you can see a clip of head coach Noelle Quinn. She is heading over to Cristie Sides, who is the head coach of the Indiana Fever. And she's kind of getting in her face, and you see Skylar go over there as well. And the Indiana Fever coach is just slightly putting her hand on Skylar's back, kind of just moving her, and Skylar keeps saying, "Don't touch me, don't touch me." And this coach is getting in her face, and the gist of this, or what people think was going on here, was she was mad that Coach Cristie Sides didn't take off. She didn't put her bench players in at the end of the game after the Seattle Storm had put in their garbage minutes players into the game. And so she went over there to argue with her about that. But to me, even in this sense, you are losing by 16 or 17 points with literally seconds left in the game. Why are you over there? It looks petty. It looks like you're being a sore loser. It looks like you are making excuses like for your team. It's just weird, and it's so interesting to me how still Caitlin Clark is getting under everyone's skin. Like, she so easily can get under the skin of other players and other coaches. It feels like a lot of these players and teams just hate the Indiana Fever, and I mean, I get it. This team was one of the worst teams in the league, and they are now climbing the ranks. I would not want to match up with this Indiana Fever team come playoffs, because as we've seen, as time and time has gone on, like we saw in the beginning of the season when Caitlin Clark was having like double-digit turnovers in games, and it was because the whole team in essence wasn't gelling. Now you are seeing it on the flip side, where her and her teammates, they see each other. She is putting up double-digit assists per game. Like, there was just a pass that she had the other day where she was under the basket, and it was just this like smooth behind the back pass that her teammates are now ready for. You have the girls on the outside. You have Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hall like shooting great from the outside. You have Aaliyah Boston like dominating. You have the points spread across the board. Like, this team is coming together, and a lot of people have been getting on Coach Cristie Sides and saying that she's like not the greatest coach, but I would have to say like there has been some sort of learning curve for the Indiana Fever, and I want to give it up to them for being able to get it together and gel, and Caitlin Clark being the leader of that pack. And I think it's about time for us as the media, us as fans, to like truly start giving Caitlin Clark credit. She has proven that she's not just a three-point shooter. She isn't turning the ball over all the time like she was in the first half of the season. You know, if she can't get her shot off, she will make sure that other players are getting their shots off. I saw the stat recently that said Caitlin Clark has scored or assisted on over 1,000 points this season, over 100 points more than the next closest player, which is Sabrina Ionescu with 910. I mean, that is insane. Like, the Rookie of the Year conversation, it shouldn't be a debate at this point. Angel Reese is also playing well, but it is clearly Caitlin Clark, and she's actually in the top 3 odds for winning MVP of the WNBA this season. The only other player to ever have done that is Candace Parker. So honestly, I feel like it is time to put the hate and the jealousy and these weird like clickbaity things. ESPN also ranked WNBA players this season, and they put Caitlin Clark 15, which I also thought was insane and clearly just had to be a clickbait post, because there's no way that you're not putting Caitlin Clark in the top 10 players of the WNBA this season. She continues to prove herself, and she's not only proving her own skills, but she's also elevating her team, which if you want to compare it to the men's side, this is what players like LeBron James, like I would argue that one of LeBron's greatest attributes and what he does on the court is he elevates his team around him, and he especially did this early on in his career. And I think someone else is Steph Curry. If you think about the 3-4 years that the Warriors were just dominating, that all came from Steph Curry and his ability to not only score and make these wild threes that we're used to seeing from him, but elevate his team around him, and they all gelled together. That's what we are seeing here with the Indiana Fever. We have to push this hate and jealousy to the side. It's so unnecessary. I hope that we move past it. She's elevating the game. She continues to do it and prove herself. Honestly, it's great for the league, and it's really cool to see. Like I told you guys, this was gonna turn into a rant video. I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I just got back from Boston from the championship game for the Big Three, and so I'm kind of tired, but I had been following these past 2 Caitlin Clark games and the storylines around it. So I wanted to get this video out for you guys today, and I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, then make sure that you give it a thumbs up, comment below, and let me know what you think. Do you think that the Fever have a chance to go all the way in the playoffs? Do you think that Caitlin Clark has a chance to be in that MVP conversation along with Brianna, along with Asia Wilson? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and make sure that you press that little subscribe button because I upload new videos every single week. And with that, you guys, I will see you next time. Ooh, yeah.